As the rain began to fall in Pakistan's northwest in late July, no one had any idea how this localized crisis would massively spiral out of control to become the worst natural disaster in Pakistan's history.
With the help and support of the other members of the ACT Alliance, both here in Pakistan and across the globe, Church World Service Pakistan Afghanistan has been responding to this disaster even in the first hours of emergency. Now, fresh monsoons are coming almost every few days, and this is causing so much problems because it's inundating new areas as well as previously hit areas. You have now a huge number of cases of waterborne diseases, malaria, even reports of cholera.
While the death toll has remained initially low, close to 10% of Pakistanis have been affected as the floodwaters continue to move south.
Most government and international estimates, they now come up to between 18 and 20 million affected people. If you look at the statistics, it's much more than the combined affected families in the 2004 tsunami, the 2005 earthquake, and even including Haiti earthquake in 2010.
One of the first areas where Church World Service responded was in the CB district in Balochistan.
और आपका नुकसान क्या हुआ?
नुकसान ही दीवारों मकान गिर गए हैं।
अच्छा
जी हाँ।
और जो आपको राशन मिल रहा है वो क्या समझते हैं आपके ठीक है राशन ये?
नहीं बस ठीक है बस जो ही है बाकी मकान हमारे गिरे हुए हैं।
And while the international community has been moderately quick to commit some initial funds to support the millions of affected, CWS reports that nowhere near enough money has been pledged or committed to meet the escalating immediate and long-term needs across all 4 of Pakistan's provinces.
People before this disaster were already very poor, since they have been through many other disasters like IDP situation and the earthquake, and this disaster will only worsen their situation.
CWS staff say that without a deep and wide commitment by donor nations and private groups, the already weak social services across the country will crumble, and human rights will be increasingly difficult for the poor to realize.
Here, women have very less mobility, and access to aid for women and children is very limited. There are many cases of malnourishment and death of children. We appeal to international communities when they respond and they provide their assistance to keep in mind the needs of women and children.
Since the early hours of the crisis, CWS has been meeting the immediate needs of tens of thousands of people.
We've been distributing food packages, non-food items, and deploying mobile health units to provide both preventive and curative health services to the flood-affected areas.
Church World Service is moving food aid to support close to 84,000 people with 1 full month of rations in the provinces of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan. Assistance is being further planned for the provinces of Punjab and Sindh. Mobile health units are currently delivering care in the midst of flood-affected communities, serving thousands of patients. In addition, 6 permanent health facilities managed by CWS continue to be the primary health care option for more than 100,000 people. In addition, CWS continues to promote and advocate for quality and accountability with the wider humanitarian community in Pakistan at both the national and local level. CWS is delivering orientation workshops on sphere standards and humanitarian accountability for aid workers in all corners of the country. CWS is also providing technical support to local organizations on integrating accountability into all aspects of their humanitarian response. While the most urgent priority is to continue the life-saving food, shelter, and medical care to survivors, the long-term impact of the crisis will only be known as the floodwaters recede.
The damage to the rural infrastructure, roads and bridges, and plus the education and dispensaries has been colossal. And I think at the moment, combined with inflationary pressures on prices and food becoming very expensive and scarce, the whole thing builds up to a serious threat to the very core of this nation.
The past decade of conflict and natural disasters have tested and proved the resilience of the Pakistani people. Now, the past weeks in unyielding water and the years of recovery ahead will prove to be another test for the millions of survivors in great need of the rest of humanity's urgent support.